Tell me a little bit about your decision to open up about your mental health. Was there a trigger of sort that you were like, I should talk about this publicly?
I think my therapist was like, I think it started with me being in the studio when I started doing therapy, and my therapist was like, why don't you just like write a song about it? And so that's how like Psycho Freak and a lot of songs came about, and then that transferred to talking about it in the studio, and then talking about it in interviews. And I'm just like, I feel like before you talk about stuff like that, it can feel so scary or shameful, and then you talk about it and you're like, oh, it's kind of like not a big deal, and makes other people feel really relieved too. So it's kind of no downside.
So I have to ask, have you seen the How to Love memes of you?
Yeah,
all
of course,
over
I
TikTok?
love them. It's a strange dynamic in Hollywood. It's a strange transformation when you go from like quote unquote ingenue young lead to mother, older lead. And sometimes I feel really old because I'm seeing all these like young actors on all these incredible shows that I'm just obsessed with. I'm like, God, I've reached a new age, and it's great because I get the opportunities I get are actually way better and more interesting for me as a parent and whatever, all that. And sometimes I'm like, wow, I feel so f***ing old. And then I see memes and I'm like, I think I really like this. This is good for me. To be folded into the younger kind of social media generation. I'm not on TikTok, but I did get a name. I took a name just in case, and then I just never went on.
Your character Samantha in Sex and the City was such an icon for so many young women. She explored sexual freedom, and right now it kind of feels like women's sexual freedom is under attack a little bit by the government. What are your thoughts on what's going on right now?
I believe that every woman should have the right to choose her health care. That is her right.
Would you ever be interested in doing a Kinky Boots movie of some sort?
They would do it. Too many, they're still talking.
Right.
Like, child, I got bills to pay.
Like,
Call me when you're ready.
Is there a story that you'd love to tell that has not been told yet that you think,
Child, I just wrote a book.
Oh.
I told all the stories. It's called Unprotected. You can buy the audio book or you can read it. All the stories are there, 279 pages.
Oh my gosh, was that cathartic for you to be able to sit down?
Very.
Yeah. What prompted that?
Am I allowed to drink on screen? You may have to cut that off.
Tell me a little bit about your latest role on television and How I Met Your Father. Very fun to be back on there working with Hilary Duff and such an all-star cast. What's that been like for you?
I love that job. I love Hilary Duff. She's great. She's terrific. I did a movie with Robert De Niro called About My Father. I'm doing a lot of shows about fathers right now. And another reboot of a show called Queer as Folk. Yes.
And is that about the LGBTQ community? Is that
Yes, it's like most of the stories that we tell. It's that's definitely a major part of it, but it's about families and friends and a time in their history. It's really a touching story.
Have you watched yourself back in The Dropout?
Yeah.
And what's it like seeing yourself truly take on another human?
It's I'm never really seeing that. I'm not objective. I can't be that. But I watch it because I appreciate how it's edited, and I appreciate all the performances, and I check my performance just to see. I don't hate on myself, but I don't love on myself either. It's just like I want to see it back.
Right, the work that you put in, for sure.
Yes, and then if it's a really good episode, I can talk about it with like more pride because I'm like, yeah, that was really good. They did a good job.
Why do you think that stories of these kind of, not con artists, but egomaniacs are really, prominent these days and people are watching them and loving them?
Well, I think because they're being caught, it's important to show that they're not getting away with it.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, there are a lot of people who are getting away with it, but a lot of people are held responsible, and so don't even try it. I mean, that's one of my perspectives. I think also people just really love a fall from grace. They love a downfall, and they love an uprising for sure. But we love a downfall more because we get to they get in trouble. They get held. they're held responsible. I think that we love that as a society. I think I love it. But it is important. It's like it's also a lesson, you know.
Absolutely.
You see how we're culpable as a society.
Could we see you back on Broadway?
I'm working on it. We'll see.
All right.
You know, I'm not going to be doing 8 shows a week for 3 years no more, but we'll see. Or
HL, Hollywood Life.
Oh, work.
Love.
You look like you're a Hollywood Life person.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.